Wow, it's proper scorcho here, but welcome to a February vlog. And when it comes to carping holidays at this time of the year, there's only one place you want to be, and that's Lake Chira on Gran Canaria. This magnificent lake has been on the carp scene for more than 30 years. It's famous for its scaly mirrors and old original carp, and the fishing is run by expats Dave and Alison Beecham of CARP Gran Canaria. They offer both short and long stay carping with everything provided, and I'm at the venue for a week in early February alongside my old sidekick Jim Lightfoot. The two of us have flown in from Manchester Airport, and after spending a night in the famous resort of Puerto Rico, we were then met by Dave and his mate Steve, who was to take us to the lake and hopefully put us on a carp or two. So I'm all done, I've got all three rods out, and I've got them all at different depths as well to try and find out where the fish are, because there's some depth right out in the middle down to 40 odd foot, and when I fish these big reservoirs like this place, although it's not that big really compared to the likes of the Orient and Shanty and some of the places that I've been to, it is still a case of the volume of water that's in here. You need to find the depth that the fish are at. Now there's a lot of fish that are showing, and they're showing in shallow water and deep water, so clearly they're feeding on something that's in the upper layers. But when it comes to bottom bait fishing, you've got to find out where they are. So I've got them staggered from about 15 foot right the way down to 40 foot, and we'll just see where we go from there. I've not really put a great deal of bait out, I've just scattered a few free offerings over each rod, roughly about half a dozen or so, and I'm really fishing for one bite at a time. So yep, all three in place. It's now a case of sitting back and hoping that one of them goes. That's a nice looking fish. Thank you, mate. Lovely.
Hey.
And that's the first one in the net. Thank you, dude.
Beautiful.
Cheers, mate. There you go. First one in the net.
Yeah, it's not a bad one for your first one, mate.
That's a lovely looking fish, isn't it?
Beautiful, yeah.
Just a nice scaly, which is what I wanted. Lovely. Thanks. Right, yeah, long day today, getting to the lake, getting set up. But the rods have not been out very long, and I've caught what I came for, which is one of Shearer's lovely scaly mirrors. Really, really happy with that one. It's a cracking fish. Probably low 20, and hooked it in quite deep water, so it felt a little bit bigger to start with, but first fish, it's a great start.
Cheers, bud. Thank you, mate.
Cool, if there's one thing I've learned already, it's that sun is a lot stronger than it looks, because it's only about 19-20 degrees at the moment, and already I've turned a nice shade of red. I've only been here a couple of hours, and yeah, feeling it a little bit because I've had my cap off and probably not drunk enough. So if you're going to come out to somewhere like this, make sure you're not as stupid as I am. But yeah, look at it behind me, beautiful place. And just caught my first carp, which I'm really happy about, and the wind has now swung nicely towards the dam wall, because I'm the closest towards the dam wall at the moment, so things are definitely looking good for this evening.
We don't want to come in, mate.
First day, and an absolutely stunning carp. not sure if you can see that in the distance, but all that mist is
Sand
off the desert. What's it called, Dave?
It's called a Kalima, and it's coming from the northeast, but yeah. It's 22 degrees apparently on the coast already.
Yeah.
So you've got a good chance of warming up, even warmer today.
Right.
So hopefully a few more fish as well, so that'll be good.
Sure,
so
we
get
will.
ready to put your speedos on, boys.
Are we going to get a load of dust over here then as well? Off that?
It's already in the air
Yeah.
around you, but you just,
Yeah.
in the distance, you notice it more.
With
Yeah,
the sun
yeah.
coming up in the
The
morning.
sun coming up,
Yeah. Oh, mega. Off goes Jim. Go on, fall over, Jim. Straight over the rocks. Well, we've got that one in anyway. Well done, Dave.
Yeah, well done, mate.
There's Dave's fish and Jim playing one in the background.
Yeah.
Just popped down here for a couple of hours, Dave.
Yeah. Managed to lose one, but we managed to get this one, so hopefully we get a few more this afternoon.
Lovely, mate. Let's go and have a look at Jim's then. Well done, mate.
Okie doke.
Beautiful fish, beautiful surroundings. Nice.
Happy Mondays.
Yeah.
Twisting my melon, man.
Beautiful.
Right, day 2, and it's been one of those very different days that you'd expect from Gran Canaria because the sun's been absolutely beating down all day. It's been really, really warm, but I've had my coat and my trousers on because there's been a really, really cold wind blowing from right to left, and it's quite an unusual wind. It's quite strong as well, so although I've got a bit of sunburn, I've also got a bit of wind burn, and but it's been a really hectic day. I've caught loads of fish today, first full day on the lake, so nice to get a good feel for when the bites are going to come. And before we actually started fishing, Dave had said to me that most of the bites tend to come during the hours of daylight, and from about 11 o'clock onwards during the day up until sort of last light, which is where we are now. And I think at the last count we've had 10 bites today, all lovely scaly mirrors apart from one common, and they're absolutely just mint perfect. They really are. They're just so lovely to catch. It doesn't matter how big they are. The biggest that we've caught is close to 27 pounds, but they're just stunning fish, and in this environment obviously it's just a lovely place to be at this time of the year. It's a great place to come on holiday. Quite easy fishing, if I'm honest. It's nothing really difficult about it, just using very simple tactics, just boilies on simple hair rigs, and you know, getting bites in the day with no action at night so far. We've only done the one night so far on the lake, but from what Dave tells us, that night fishing tends to be very, very slow on here, so I like it that way because it's been quite busy today. So lots of drink going down me, and got sore lips. Jim looks like a beetroot at the moment, a typical British guy abroad. He's got a red face, red arms and everything, and this is a guy that spends quite a lot of time overseas, so it tells you how strong the sun is out here. But yeah, day 2, very good so far, really having fun, and I know it's very bad weather home in England, so I know where I'd rather be. Check that out. Served on the bank, courtesy of the main man himself.
Afternoon.
Look at that, 4 hungry carp anglers. Beautiful. Loads of carp, good weather, and now mega food.
That's it.
Perfect. Just what you want on a holiday. Okay, Dave, let's just find out a little bit about your background on the lake. How long have you been fishing out here, mate?
Well, I think I first probably came in 1989 to 1990, early days, way back, and then fell in love with the place really. Mm-hmm. And then obviously I fished all over the place. But
all over the island, you mean? Yeah.
Had some big fish from other lakes.
Yeah.
But this one is just phenomenal with the fish.
Yeah. When did you actually start fishing on Shearer?
I very first fished here in late 89, early 1990.
Okay,
That's the very first time I fished and I blanked.
Yeah.
It was the first time, and then we came back year after year with my wife.
Yeah.
And then for some crazy reason, I said to Alison one morning, shall we go live in Gran Canaria and start a carp fishing business? She thought I was mad.
Yeah. And when was that? What year was that?
2003.
Right,
2003.
Okay. So you got a lot of experience on the lake.
Loads of experience.
Yeah.
Probably fish it 6 days a week, every day for the last 17 years.
Yeah. And how many fish do you think are in the lake?
Thousands, mate.
Thousands, yeah.
Thousands.
Yeah. I mean, it's known for its scaly mirrors, and that's what it's famous for.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, and the funny thing is with the commons, you know, go back sort of 17 years ago, there was no commons.
Yeah.
Because they revert back to their normal state,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
they? And
that's
now we're
right.
catching commons, and
Yeah.
you couldn't catch a common here. In the early 90s, it was impossible to catch a common.
Yeah, yeah.
But now
What size do the commons go to
the
now?
biggest one we've had is 38 pound.
Okay. What about the mirrors at the moment?
The biggest mirror I've seen is 49.12. Alan Blair had a 44. I've had a couple at 46.
Yeah.
And we had a day trip client last year, a lovely German guy who had a 47 pounder
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
46 pounder on the rock you saw.
Yeah. Okay. And so what about your trips then, mate? What packages you offering? You've got day session packages and week packages.
We
haven't you?
do day trips for people on holiday, which is like an excursion. You know, they pay a certain amount of money. We pick them up at the hotel. Hours drive. They get an island tour. We fish all day. Give them lunch, soft drinks, a baguette, blah blah blah. Well looked after. And then we drive them back at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They get back to around about 5.
Yeah.
And in the holidays we do 7-day packages, and then we do 2-day packages, 24-hour packages, whatever people want.
Yeah. And that's your gear, all the gear included.
Everything included. Day
Yeah.
trips, it's all scopes, because they're easy to get in the car.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. But yeah, they get the rods, the bivvies, the beds.
Yeah.
All they need to bring is reels, alarms, and end tackle.
And they got all the
like
cooking
yourself.
equipment as well included.
Alison supplies all the cooking equipment. Vaseline for Jim Lightfoot there for his lips. You know. Yeah. Anything you want, we try. We just try and do our best. Really, for everybody.
Yeah, it's a great holiday, mate. And do you do any other packages at all? Any sort of sightseeing tours or anything?
Yeah,
like
we
that?
do actually. We got friends who we work with a boat, which do the big game fishing from May until October for the marlin and tuna and stuff like that. We do like a 2-day package with them. They come fishing for a day for carp, and they go fishing for a day on the boat. Yeah. Also, a friend of mine does island tours, private island tours. If you want to go to small restaurants around the island,
Yeah.
So
and all the info on the website, yeah.
all the info on the website. Anything, our phone numbers, our emails, anything you want to know about Gran Canaria, just especially Alison. I'm the fisherman, she's the brains.
Okay, mate.
You know, she's
Lovely.
the travel agent, and I'm the angler.
Lovely, mate. Thank you so much, mate.
Brilliant.
What's that I'm spotting in your swim there, Jimbo?
Crowbar. That's my
What's that? Is
top
that the little
secret.
top secret bait?
Yeah, it's the biggest edging carp fishing that you're looking at there, mate.
Brazil nuts. All right. So is that what you're catching on?
Yeah, that's what I'm using, mate. Yeah. I've used Brazil nuts now for 15 years or more, and absolutely love them. I do.
Right.
Yeah. But the difference with how I use them, this is a 1 kilo bag.
Yeah.
Most people use Brazil nuts as just hook baits.
Yeah.
I use them as like people use boilies. I buy like 10 kilo, 20 kilo at a time.
Right. How many you brought this trip?
Brought 8 kilo this trip.
Right. So what are you doing? Are you soaking them or boiling them up or what?
No, Brazil nuts straight from the bag. They don't need soaking because they're full of oil. They're naturally quite soft. But what I do, I soak them because a bag of 1 kilo, 75% will sink, 25% will float.
Right.
But if you keep them in water overnight, they will all sink then. So
Right.
you know you can. And sometimes I pick out the floaters and just use them as hook baits. So
Right.
you've got like a balanced bait.
Is that what that's there for then?
Yeah.
A little bag.
Yeah, they were all floaters yesterday, and you can see probably 90% of them have sunk now.
And that's just lake water.
Just lake water, yeah.
All right, mega.
Yeah.
So you trying anything else, or are you just using those at the moment?
No, I use them with a bit of maize a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, mainly just Brazils, maize, a few tiger nuts.
Yeah.
If I've got those 3 baits with me, I'm confident of catching wherever I go.
Well, it just goes to show, doesn't it, that these fish are hungry fish, because I'm catching on boilies, you're catching on that.
Yeah.
Dave and his clients down the other end are catching over tigers and maize and stuff. So I think anything will work on this lake. But yeah, that's interesting stuff though that you just talked about. Definitely an edge on some waters for sure.
Yeah, it's anything to do in carp fishing. If you've got confidence, that's the biggest vital ingredient with things, having confidence in what you're doing. And that just comes with experience, really.
And that's why we're catching.
Yep.
Here he is. Holiday boy.
Yeah, fish on.
Fish on, red cheeks,
Yeah,
big
red
smile.
cheeks. Burnt neck, burnt back. But a lovely scaly carp, ready to be netted.
Oh yeah, that's a nice one, mate.
That's a beautiful fish.
done, dude.
Yeah, lovely.
That is nice.
Yeah, lovely.
Happy days.
How about this for a beautiful fish day? Been out about an hour, took it to the far bank, a couple of Brazil nuts, and away it went. Beautiful fish. Been after one of these. Commons seem to follow me around, so it's nice to get a mirror. Beautiful fish. We'll put it back. Nice chicken feast, that tell you.
Jim's just doing his dinner for the night, which is down here. So, looks very edible.
Yeah, and many thanks to Alison who's made it. It's a wonderful job.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, another mad day today. Both got red faces. It must have been over 30 degrees. My little app on my phone was telling me it was 27, but it was really, really warm today, and I think it's taking its toll on us a little bit because we've been sat out in it, playing fish, landing fish, baiting up, and today, thankfully, the wind died down a lot, which has made it a lot more easy to get baits out onto the far side where we have been catching the occasional fish from as well. So we're just chilling out now. I'm having a brew and getting ready for the night, but yeah, it's been good. Action on all the rods. Jim's moved himself more to the left now, and he's had action on all three of his rods as well, so I'm expecting something to happen tonight as well. But yeah, pretty easy fishing, pretty relaxed fishing as well. We're on holiday, we're enjoying it. It's really cold back home in England, and it's good to be here because you know, carp fishing in different environments. I've always wanted to come to this place and never been here before, never been to Gran Canaria before, so yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I've just got a bit of a burnt nose and I'm a little bit beaten up by the sun today, but yeah, just having a cup of tea and watching the sun go down and waiting for the evening to roll on in. You can just about hear now the odd cricket start chirping in the bushes behind us, but yeah, let's hope we don't get too many fish tonight and we get a good night's sleep, and we catch a few more tomorrow. We're still catching them into the night, one after another. Absolutely brilliant sport, and every single one of them fights like a steam train. They just don't give up, like this one. Well, I'm still playing that fish from a few moments ago. I said that they fight really hard, and I don't think this is a big fish at all, but it just doesn't want to give up. You tend to get these little commons, like little cricket bats or torpedoes, and they really do fight. And we've started to run out of leads from the amount of takes, so I've started putting the tail rubber on a lot tighter, and obviously having the lead on is making the fish keep a lot deeper in the water as well. When the lead comes off, the fish are coming up in the water real quickly, and you know, the fight's not as hard as it always is with the lead still on. But sooner or later, this one will hopefully get in the net. Well, how about that? That is a gorgeous fish. It's been quite a slow day today because it's probably been down to the weather, because it's been a lot cooler, and we've only had, well, this is the fourth bite all day, which is our slowest day so far. But just as the sun's gone down, I was having a bite to eat, and the middle rod's roared off with this beauty on. Lovely. The fishing here definitely isn't technical. It's very similar to English carping, and with two of my rods, my left hander and my middle rod, both of those I've only got them about 50 or 60 yards out off the bank. I found a nice little hump out there in 20 foot, and I'm casting out, hitting the clip, marking the line, and then getting the throwing stick and just baiting up over the top. With the right hander, that one's a little bit different because As you can see on the far side, it's a no fishing bank over there, and wherever you see a no fishing bank, there's always going to be carp nice and tight to it. So with that rod, I'm taking to the boat, going across to the other side, finding around about 6 to 10 foot in depth, nice and hard areas. What you can see on the bank on the far side, whether it's rocks or grass or soft areas, you tend to find in the water itself, and then all I'm doing is just dropping a few baits around that. So nothing difficult, very similar to English style carping, and something that everybody can do. Down by the chalet now, and it's right in front of the end of the lake, but as you can see, the lake's all dried up because the water level is really low at the moment. But this is what the chalets look like. Really nice, and obviously everything's fully equipped. Now you might have seen Alan Blair with a really nice carp from Shearer a few years ago, and he's got some cactuses behind him, and as I understand it from what Dave's telling me, he caught it from outside one of these lodges because the water's right up at some times of the year, and it's right in front of these lodges. So you can see how low down it is at the moment, because that is just dry as a bone. Yeah, well, the one that we've got for our duration of the trip is that one there, and inside there is everything you need for a trip. Obviously electricity, there's loads of charging points. I've got my cameras on charge at the moment. There's obviously a double bed there if you want to share with your missus and just chill out and watch a bit of TV. There's a shower in there at the moment, and Jimmy's just in there getting himself all sorted. But there's everything: microwave, fridge, freezer, running water, hob. Lovely, perfect for a short break or a long break with your missus or a few mates. With this lake having been fished for an awful long time, I know the fish are very much onto boilies. Now, with Dave not supplying boilies within his package, I've had to bring these over myself, and I've only had a 21 kilo weight allowance on the flight, so I've had my sleeping bag, I've had my bits and pieces like my clothes, some dietary things that I need to bring over with me, I've had my reels in there, my buzzers, and so from a boilie point of view, I've not actually brought a great deal over here. I've just bought about 5 kilos in total. And this has been made up of just 3 different baits. I've got some Secret 7, I've got some SLK and some Nutter S. Now they're all shelf life, perfect for somewhere like this, and they're all of the 18mm size as well. I've brought 1 or 2 hook baits that are a little bit bigger, and all I've done is started on the Secret 7 and I started catching straight away, and I've just carried on with that, and I've still got a few kilos of that left, so until that runs out I'm not going to change what I'm doing. But it's really simple stuff that I'm doing. Just fishing boilies on the hair, and then just scattering a few around each hook bait. As always, there's nothing fancy about my rigs. I'm using a snowman setup. That's S7 from DNA Baits. I've just got a pop up on the end which I've just trimmed down to make it critically balanced. And then we've got a size 4 hook, not snotted, with a liner. Got roughly 8 to 10 inches of hook link. Got a lead clip. We've got an extremity lead on the end there. It's a 4 ouncer. And then we've just got a shock tight leader all the way through to 15-pound avid outline. Well, it's another mega evening, and an update on today is that it's been my slowest day so far of the trip, because I've only had 1 pickup, and that was about 4:30 this morning, and I lost that fish. And I know everybody loses the biggest fish, but this particular bite, it was a fish that just started taking lines straight away, and having caught now somewhere in the region of about 25 carp since I've been here, the fight from this one was completely different. It started stripping line off me straight away. It was a lot heavier than all the other fish that I've caught, and the fight probably lasted about 20 minutes, and it was really heavy, and unfortunately the hook pulled. And I know it's always a case of the biggest one is the one that got away, but from my mind the biggest fish that I've hooked this week was the one that I lost this morning, without a doubt. I didn't see it, so I don't know for sure, but you just know over the years that you've carp fished that certainly some of the fish, the bigger fish, bite it completely different to the average stamp of fish, and having caught quite a few here this week, I'm fairly sure that's the big one that got away today. But yeah, it's been quiet on my side, and there's certainly been a lot more fish out in the middle part of the lake where Jim's been fishing. And today we've had Steve down here as well. He's popped down for another day, and he went right between us, stuck some rods on the far bank, and probably half an hour later he started catching, and I think he ended up with about 4 fish from today, some lovely mirrors, you know. But it's good for him because he ended up leaving the other day, having done 2 days without catching anything, whilst the lads around him were catching. So that was lovely to see. But it just goes to show that this lake, you know, the fish are on the move, and you know, they're picking up baits in just the same way they do on any pressured water. Is that one day you can be catching them from one side, and then the next day it's a little bit different. And you know, I don't know a lake in the world where the carp continue to just get battered from one area and they keep staying there. It was always going to be a case of my side of the swim was going to go quiet at some stage, and you know, there's every possibility that things are going to change again. And as we're going into the evening, I'm certainly still confident of getting a bite or two from the rest of the trip. Bit of chaos in Jim's swim. He's just had a double take, including that absolute stunner. Look at that for a carp. That really is a peach. Well, let's get this one in. And I hit this one when he was playing that one, and it felt a decent fish. How's it feel, mate?
Yeah, it feels nice, mate.
Yeah. Good.
Beautiful day, mate. Sun's shining and rods are flying off.
Happy Mondays.
Yeah, aye.
Apart from it's a Thursday.
Yeah, no throwback Thursdays here, mate. It's all live action.
Good lad. Woo. Nice brace shot.
It's got a bit of width to that as well, that one. Well, look at this for a beauty. Absolutely gorgeous. Loving the scale pattern on this one. Beautiful. Middle of the day, just zips off. Gorgeous.
And we've got another one in there. This month's product plug is the new lockdown pod from Avid Carp, and it's Thursday today, and I've been using Dave's pod for most of the week because this one's only just turned up, and I sent it out 4 weeks ago, but I have actually been using it quite a lot in the UK, and it is a fantastic bit of kit. If you've seen the lockdown range and the cam systems from Avid, basically you'll find exactly the same systems on all the uprights and the legs, and also on a centre bar system. All adjustable, it's super sturdy, and it's perfect for a lake like this place because you get this tension strap which you can fix into the bank quite easily with pegs, and when the wind picks up it's not going to get blown over. But yep, that's the new lockdown pod from Avid Carp. You'll pick them up for about 129 quid from most stockists. For further details, check out avidcarp.com. So Jimbo, we're nearly at the end of the trip then, and how would you sum it all up? Enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been a mega trip really. Really enjoyable trip.
What would you say about the lake?
Say about the lake, I'd say it's we were talking about before, it's mega surroundings, the hillsides. It's spectacular, and the carp go hand in hand with the surroundings. The carp are spectacular, the surroundings are spectacular. They're not the biggest, the carp. You're never going to catch a 60-pounder, but no one comes here to catch 60-pounders. They come here to catch scaly mirror carp.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we knew that before we came here. You know, we've come here to catch some Shearer carp, and definitely this lake is famous for these fish. They are stunning, absolutely stunning. Every single one we've caught has been beautiful, haven't they?
Yeah, and you see them in the paper, but when you actually see them in the flesh, they're like another level than you see them in the flesh.
Yeah.
Really nice they are.
Yeah, they are. So, all in all, great trip. Loved it. Absolutely superb hospitality from Dave and Alison. They've really looked after us fantastically, and we've seen as well that it is not a case of, oh, you guys work in the trade so they're looking after you. He's been running round, Dave has, looking after his daytime guests like they're his best friends. You know, he's an absolute diamond, and the one thing I'd say is about him is I've had so many positive messages from people on my social media platform saying, oh, say hello to Dave, you know, he's clearly a really well liked bloke and he does really, really great things with this, doesn't he?
Yeah, you can't do enough for you. And another thing to mention is that all his tackle he rents out to is all top quality gear as well.
Yeah, yeah.
The bibbies are good, the hot rods are good.
Bed chairs are fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, so he's got everything spot on, he has.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So we're coming towards the end of the last day then, and it's been another fantastic day's fishing. And during the course of the week, all I've caught is these beautiful Shearer mirrors, but today all I've caught is these lovely long torpedo commons, which has made it very, very different. And I think also that the weather's been a little bit different today as well, because most of the week it's been really, really warm, but today it's been a lot milder, around a 20-degree mark, 20 to 21 degrees, something like that. Made it a lot more comfortable on the bank, and so comfortable in fact that Jim decided that he was going to reel his rods in, and he likes doing a bit of mountain walking and stuff. He got his boots on and went for a trek over the hills towards the big mountains in the distance, and he was gone probably most of the morning for 3 or 4 hours, and he had a lovely time as well. So the one thing to say about that is that if you're thinking about bringing your missus out here, it isn't just about the fishing. The actual environment itself is absolutely beautiful. We've hardly had anybody come down to the swim whilst we've been here. We've hardly been disturbed at all. It's been just nice and relaxing, and as I say, if you and your missus are into a bit of hill walking and mountain walking, then it's just perfect for you. Now we're due to pack up in the morning at about 9 o'clock, so we've got one evening left, and knowing these Shearer carp, I'm sure we're going to catch 1 or 2 before we pack up tomorrow. Wow, another one just as we're packing up. The bites are just coming one after another. It's been a fantastic trip. We've caught absolutely loads of carp, and yeah, we've still got a couple of hours left, so you just never know. We might get one of these big old originals as well, and that'd just be a great way to finish if we do. Bigger than the ones I've had.
It's wide fish. It's not got the length, it's wide. It's got an old gnarly head on it as well.
Yeah, it's got the lead attached as well. That'll do, mate. Wow, what a great way to end the trip. You come to somewhere like Shearer to get a bit of sun and to catch some scaly mirrors, because that's what the lake's famous for. But when you see the fish jumping and you see those dark mirrors in front of you, the original fish, they're the ones that you really want on your next bite. And there's one of them. And that is a great way to end what has been an absolutely fantastic trip. A massive thanks to David and Alison of Gran Canaria carping. If you're into a bit of sun and you fancy a carping holiday in somewhere really, really beautiful, this is the place for you. Fantastic.